We all love the idea of transformation, don't we? The big fresh start, the new me.
Hmm.
But let's be honest. Most people get fired up, maybe try something new for a week, then they hit a bump, feel bad, and just stop. It usually ends in burnout, not real change. So today, we're digging into something different. Not just motivation, but a specific, proven system. We're doing a deep dive into the 90-day self-improvement plan. It's this really structured approach from Jadid Parashar. Apparently, he designed it because he was juggling some seriously demanding stuff, an AI company, books, workout, content, the works, and he needed a way to do it all without, hitting that wall. And the core idea, the real takeaway here, isn't about just grinding harder. It's this. Discipline isn't really about forcing things. It's about designing systems. Good systems make growth almost automatic. So, yeah, let's unpack this. It's a three-phase approach. It's meant to take you from just chasing habits to actually being the kind of person who has them.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is why it works, or at least why it was designed. It tackles that core conflict, right? Ambitious people often feel this rush and then immense guilt when things don't go perfectly. This plan was built to replace that guilt with structure and replace the rush with a kind of rhythm. The author built it on three main pillars: reflection-like, deep reflection, structure, really clear boundaries, and AI. And the AI part isn't just a gimmick. It moves it beyond your standard productivity tips. It's about using AI to analyze you, not just your work.
Right, so not using AI to, say, write code faster, but using it to help you operate better as a person, like upgrading your own internal OS.
Exactly. For you listening, the goal isn't just, oh, I'll try to change next week. It's about starting to live right now as that person who already has that clarity, that structure. This 90-day system is basically the scaffolding to help make that new identity stick.
Okay, so if that's the philosophy, where do we start? Phase 1, the first 30 days, is called Recalibrate. And it sounds like this is foundational. Like, you can't optimize noise, you have to clear things out first.
Mm-hmm. And the goals for this phase are very specific, designed to lower friction, not add effort. It's about spotting where your energy is leaking out, simplifying your commitments, like really cutting back, and then rebuilding self-trust. Not with huge wins, but tiny, reliable daily actions.
And the daily practice seems key here almost.
Yeah.
Simple. The sources mention 3 things. 30 minutes of movement could be a workout, could just be a walk.
Mm-hmm.
Ending the day with some gratitude. And then 10 minutes of journaling, but with a very specific question. What drained my energy today?
That journaling prompt is, I think, a small psychological masterstroke in this phase. We usually journal about what we did. This forces you to look at the cost. What actually took energy away? Was it that meeting? Mindless scrolling? An argument? Identifying the drain is step 1 to plugging it.
It also seems designed to avoid that common failure point of trying too much too soon. The tasks are small, so you build consistency. And consistency builds trust in yourself. But even here, in this simple phase, AI pops up.
Yes, but again, it's used in a very low-friction way. It's purely for reframing thoughts, stopping those negative spirals before they take hold. This is super important when you're trying to simplify and your brain is fighting back saying, but you should be doing more.
Yeah.
There's a great example prompt in the source. Help me reframe this thought. I feel like I'm not progressing fast enough. We've all felt that, right?
Definitely. And the AI can give you that objective perspective, maybe pointing out that building the foundation is the progress right now. It's like using a tool to manage that immediate doubt.
So by day 30, the intended result is pretty clear. Less mental fog, simpler decisions, a clearer sense of direction. And that success then leads you into the real engine room of the plan, phase 2. Rebuild, that's days 31 to 60.
Okay, so clarity achieved, hopefully. Now the focus shifts from reflecting to actually building systems. And this is where the AI role changes too, right? It becomes less of a reflection buddy and more like a data coach.
Precisely. This phase often trips people up because it demands pretty strict data logging. The author tracked everything. Every workout done, article read, book page finished, idea captured, all in one central dashboard, like Notion.
Okay, hold on. Tracking everything. Doesn't that sound kind of exhausting? Didn't phase 1 aim to simplify? Is there a risk of just creating a new kind of overwhelm?
That's a really fair question. It seems counterintuitive, I know. But the system leans on this because it creates what the author calls data-driven accountability. And the idea is that this kind of accountability is actually strong enough to replace motivation on the days you don't feel it. You might wake up feeling flat, but the data log is undeniable. You see the check marks. If you miss something, it's a clear gap on the dashboard, not just a vague, guilty feeling. You end up celebrating concrete facts, small, consistent wins. And that fuels momentum much more reliably than, just waiting for inspiration to strike.
Ah, okay. That reframes it. So you stop obsessing over the big outcome. I want to finish my book. Focus on the input data. I wrote my 500 words today and yesterday and the day before.
Exactly. And the AI gets leveraged here to make sense of all that raw data. You move beyond just reframing thoughts to actual performance analysis. The source gives this great prompt example for phase 2. You are my performance analyst. Based on my week's log, suggest 3 areas to improve focus and 3 to celebrate.
Wow, okay. So you feed it your own data and it spits back objective insights. That feels powerful. It means you're not just guessing, why didn't I read much last week? The AI might correlate it with the data points showing, say, 3 late meetings that week, which lines up with your energy log from phase 1.
Right. Patterns emerge, but only if you feed the system consistently. It connects back to that optimization idea. You're not just trying to paddle harder. You're finding the leak in the boat, the specific thing slowing you down and fixing that. It's targeted improvement, not just more effort.
Optimizing the system, not just pushing the pedals harder. Got it. That leads us to the final stretch, phase 3, redefine, days 61 to 90. This sounds like where the real identity shift is supposed to happen, moving from doing habits to being the person who does them naturally.
Yeah, this phase has 2 big strategic shifts. First, the focus moves away from just daily tracking towards designing the long-term systems. Like, how will you maintain this rhythm after the 90 days? You're basically writing the operating manual for your future self.
And the second part, teaching or mentoring. The author mentions this, even if it's just creating content to help others.
Yeah.
Why is that so important for your own identity?
Because teaching forces mastery. When you explain the structure you've built to someone else, you have to really articulate the why, the rules, the nuances. That process solidifies it in your own mind. It makes the new ways of operating feel more automatic, more unconscious. It's like stress testing your new internal system. And the AI prompts here reflect that deeper identity level work. They're designed to surface unconscious changes.
I really like the example prompts for this phase in the source material. They make you spot growth you might have missed. Like, what skills am I unconsciously improving right now? Unquote. That shifts your focus away from self-critique towards recognizing, well, hidden progress. And maybe the most powerful one is about framing identity. What kind of person would naturally maintain these habits? So instead of asking, how do I force myself to get up early? You ask, what's true about someone who finds it easy to get up early? The focus moves from action to being. That feels like the core of making growth stick.
And if you look at the results the author achieved, managing that intense professional life, the AI work, the writing, everything, the transformation seems pretty significant. After 90 days of sticking to the plan, the claim is the results are almost guaranteed if you follow the structure. You find that rhythm replaces the rush, that reliable structure pushes out the guilt, and you start operating from a place of, well, clarity and calm even when things are demanding.
It sounds like a shortcut to that balanced success people chase. Because the change didn't come from just trying harder or sleeping less. It came from using structure, data, and a bit of AI to make the desired state almost inevitable. Applying process optimization, usually for businesses, to your own life.
Exactly. It's recognizing that maybe the best performance analyst you can have isn't some external software for your business, but an intelligence system analyzing you, turning your life data into strategy, avoiding generic advice that just leads to burnout.
Okay, so if we pull back for a final thought here. This whole system hinges on using AI as a kind of personal performance analyst. It shows AI can help manage really human things, energy, identity, emotions. We've spent so much time talking about AI automating tasks, coding, writing, analysis. But if it can be this effective for human self-improvement, analyzing personal data to drive change, what else could it optimize beyond work? Could the next big wave be less about automating tasks and more about intelligently optimizing us, the user? That's definitely something to think about, far beyond just a 90-day plan. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.